I'm super excited to be here, and I'm especially grateful that I got to go last and listen to all of you guys' beautiful talks. Um, as Vicky knows, I am very a big believer in coming from the heart, and for me, that means obviously no preparation. So this is a beautiful container you've created for that. And it's a special day for me, and I'm really appreciative that Sanjeev went into gratitude. I'm particularly grateful for this day. It's the day that 23 years ago I had the blessing to become a mother. So it's my oldest daughter's birthday today. And when I was reading through the email in preparation for this and thinking, on what this day means, and particularly around abundance and play, it really feels special to me to talk about abundance. And I think abundance has really become like a buzzword for us, right? And I think a lot of people, when they, probably not in this audience, but around the world, when people think about abundance, they think about money, or they think about material things, or they think about that kind of abundance. And really what I'd like to speak on, and what's really on my heart today, is an abundance of love. We all know that there's a lot going on in the world right now that could really take us into some dark places. And I'm not saying that we should bury our head in the sand or ignore what's going on in the world, but I really think it's beautiful and potent and powerful right now to focus on love. And for me as a mother, obviously, when I was able to hold my baby for the first time 23 years ago, that for me was a really profound moment. It transformed my view of love. It taught me a deeper lesson on what love really is. And it brought me to this place of really caring about the world on a deeper level, because now I had created a human being that was going to grow up in this world that I lived in. And it started for me a very long and sometimes bumpy journey of what I could do as, a single human in the world in terms of really making a difference, and really making sure not only that my kids, because I have two daughters, grew up knowing that I loved them, but what could I do in the world to really start to make a difference so that humanity in general was more focused on love. And as a single person out of the billions of people that live on this planet, it seems like a really overwhelming thing, particularly since I was like 19 years old when she was born, and was really not even sure who I was yet. And so understanding that it doesn't matter who we are or where we come from, right? You're watching people speak in this beautiful platform that Vicky has put together for us. But even if you're not someone who's going around doing public speaking events, even if you're not someone who has a business where you work with people, right, that to help them in their own life, what is it that you can do every day that will leave the world a better place? What is it that you can do with the people around you, even, the people in your experience, the people that you run into at the grocery store, your own family? What is it that you can do to really cultivate this layer of love and start to help us heal humanity as a whole? Because I truly believe, obviously, it starts with the people that we interact with. And while many of us, myself included, right, like many of us are outwardly focused, often are focused on doing the big things, are focused on creating stuff in our lives that feels really big. I believe that when we bring it back to the small things, when we come back into ourselves, when we ask ourselves, like, what is it really I can do today to show my own self-love, to show the people directly around me love, then we are going to start this tidal wave of love that gets to wash over the world and really begins to show us and change the direction that I feel, that we're all trying to do, right? We've all showed up in this space because we care. We care enough to show up here to have the conversation. We care enough to show up here to listen to people talk. And I think even for those of you that are here listening that aren't speaking necessarily, understand how important your role is in this. And I really want to celebrate you for coming here and caring enough to really take time out of your day to listen to this, to take time out of your day. I see the chat box blowing up, right? Like we're interacting and you're taking part in this, and you're showing these beautiful people that are here sharing their message. And for a lot of us, it's uncomfortable, right? Like when I first started doing this and I realized it was going to mean I had to be in front of camera to really like have the impact I wanted to have, it was terrifying. You want to talk about fear? One of my top 3 fears was public speaking, was showing up in front of people on the camera. So just understanding that it's all of us, and in whatever way that we can, in whatever way that we can get through the fear to show up and do our part, it's just as important to do the little things that may seem little to you now. Those are actually more important than the things that we tend to believe are big things, right? It's the little things in your day-to-day life. Somebody said to me once, and it's one of my favorite things I think I've ever heard. Somebody said to me once, the ceremony is in your day. Your day-to-day life is the ceremony. It's not the big things we do, although yes, those are important too, but it's the small moments. And I've always loved that saying because it brings us into this present moment where we actually then pay attention to the little moments, which add up to the big moments, which add up to our entire life, right? I told you, I started this off by telling you that my oldest daughter turned 23 today. It blows my mind that she's 23, but she got to be 23 by all of those little moments, right? Showing up in those little moments. And so I really just want to leave you with the thought that every moment does count. You do matter. And it's important that we really continue to do our part to show up in those little moments. And Vicki, I really wanted to take the time to say how much I appreciate you, how thankful I am for this creation that you've put together. I wasn't 100% sure what to expect. And this by far is one of the most beautiful things I've ever taken part in. And you should be so proud of yourself for creating such a space for people to really connect in such a beautiful manner where there really is no agenda. And I think that's very rare. So I just applaud you and thank you so much. And thank you guys for listening to me. And I hope you have the most amazing day.